Hi there. It's been a little while, but I'm back. And today we're going to talk a little bit about stretching effectively through the calves and the Achilles, as well as through the arches of the feet. So we're getting into spring, we're getting into warmer weather. People are going out running a lot more, walking a lot more, standing, doing gardening, doing yard work. So we often neglect the lowest part of our leg. We think a lot about the quadriceps, the glutes, the hamstrings, but we don't pay a lot of attention to the Achilles and the arches until they start to give us problems. So many people are probably very familiar with the stretch where you're standing on, I'm going to grab a block, you're standing on a stair or a raised surface, and you simply drop your heel down and pull your hips forward. So that's a great stretch across the gastroc, so across the calf itself. It doesn't get really low into the Achilles. I'm going to show you a stretch that will help you get into the Achilles a bit deeper. You're going to take one foot close to the wall and the other foot behind it, toes turned slightly outward. From there, bend the knee that's closest to the wall and then start to bend the other knee as the hips drop slightly backward. You're going to press deeply into the heel and the pinky toe edge of that back foot. And you're going to start to feel that stretch come from the back of the heel all the way up through the calf. So again, you're taking one foot forward, bend into that knee. From there, bend the back knee and draw your hips behind you just a tiny bit. You're going to feel a very deep stretch right into the Achilles tendon. And it's really important that we keep that area open so that it doesn't pull, sprain, or potentially tear. So then, of course, you'll do the other side. And each time you do this, you want to take about 3 to 5 breaths. You'll feel more the more you bend the knee and the more you drop the hips back. You have to play around a bit with the positioning of the foot before you feel it, but you'll definitely feel that stretch. Now, another stretch that a few people know, but a lot of people are unfamiliar with, is called toes pose. Toes pose is when you sit into the knees. You curl your toes under. Now, oftentimes the pinky toe doesn't want to curl under, so you kind of have to untuck it. And you simply sit back onto your heels. And you will start to feel that right through the feet and through the arches. So what's happening here is we're starting to rebuild and reconnect to the fascia, or the soft connective tissue in the arch of the foot. Oftentimes as runners, those arches begin to collapse, and as the arch collapses, plantar fasciitis can develop. So after about 5 breaths there, you're going to take one foot and place it into the other. So you're going to take the bony part of your big toe. So you, in line with the big toe, there's the bone, it's the metatarsal. You're going to take that bone and place it into the fleshy part of the arch. And then again, sit back. And you'll start to feel, you might again need to play around with the positioning, maybe wiggle the foot, maybe press it inward a bit more or pull it out. And you're going to start to feel pressure, this little trigger point, like an acupressure point. And you stay there for about 3 to 5 breaths, or as long as you can tolerate that pressure. It's going to be a tad uncomfortable as you start this. From there, you will sit up and again just switch sides, taking that first metatarsal and placing it inside the fleshy part of your arch and sitting back. And you might have to play around with, there it is, play around with the positioning, just feeling the foot. If you want a little bit more intensity, you wiggle the foot back and forth in that arch. Now, one more stretch that is not something we commonly think about, but we're going to think about the front part of the foot, right over where it connects to the ankle. You're going to sit back, take your hands behind you, propping into your fingertips, and then leaning into your feet, you're going to lift the knees up. You'll feel that right across the fronts of the feet, maybe across the ankles. Again, as you decide you want to increase intensity, your hands can come out, or maybe they rest on your knees. That's a little bit of balance through the core and a lot more weight leaning back. Slowly releasing. Now, to just relax all of those, you're going to curl your toes under, coming to all fours, and just wiggle the heels back and forth, and then circle out your ankles in each direction. And you should start to feel a lot more circulation coming through the foot from the ankle all the way down through the toes. So just as a quick review, deep stretch through the gastroc or through the calf, standing into a block or a raised surface and dropping the heel down, you pull your hips forward. Okay. Additionally, to get deeper, one foot steps forward, the other foot steps back, toes turned slightly outward, bend the front knee toward the wall, draw the back knee in as the hips drop back a bit, and keep that heel pressing to the floor. It's a very isolated stretch to the back part of the heel, right here. So it's actually from the base of the calf all the way down to the heel, the soleus. That's what you're stretching there, that Achilles, what we know as the Achilles tendon. And you'll just switch sides. This one's a bit harder for me to get to. It doesn't need as much of a stretch. There we go. And then coming down, about 5 breaths in toes pose, about 5 breaths with one acupressure point into the heel, and of course the other. And then leaning back into the tops of the feet, however you feel comfortable. And from there, you should start to feel a lot more circulation through the feet. So I hope that helps you. I have a couple more to show you, and that will be in the next video. Have a great day. Namaste.